The Gentleman's Lounge. For every gentleman in making or made. Make sure to subscribe to the Gentleman's Lounge and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.
The 7 Strategic Pillars, a Gentleman's Blueprint for Dominance and Success. Introduction. Setting the stage for strategic excellence. The Gentleman, welcome back to the Gentleman's Lounge. Today, we're embarking on a profound journey, a journey that's designed for those who seek to rise above the ordinary, for those who aspire to claim their rightful place at the pinnacle of power, success, and influence. This is not just another discussion. This is the unveiling of the 7 Strategic Pillars, a blueprint meticulously crafted to guide you towards achieving dominance over your competitors, both in your professional and social lives. In this exclusive session, we are going to unlock the secrets of strategy, not through abstract theories, but through actionable insights drawn from the lives of history's greatest tacticians. We will draw lessons from masters like Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese general and philosopher who wrote The Art of War, Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Empire in Persia, Napoleon Bonaparte, whose military genius reshaped the political landscape of Europe, and other figures who have wielded power with unmatched skill. These lessons will guide you on how to maneuver your way to the top in every aspect of life, be it business, society, or
Pillar
personal
1,
growth.
the essence of strategy. 1.1 Defining strategy. Beyond the surface. Strategy, the gentleman, is the art of outmaneuvering your competition, not through brute force, but through calculated, deliberate moves that position you advantageously. It's about seeing the entire chessboard, not just the next move. Think of it as the difference between tactics and strategy. Tactics are the short-term maneuvers, while strategy is the long-term plan that ensures victory. Consider Sun Tzu. His genius wasn't merely in his tactics, such as his use of deception and psychological warfare, it was in his overall strategy, how he chose his battles, avoided direct confrontation when necessary, and leveraged the strengths of his army while exploiting the weaknesses of his enemies. For us, strategy might mean understanding our industry's landscape, recognizing opportunities before others do, and positioning ourselves to exploit those opportunities fully. 1.2 Strategy in life and business, a broader perspective. In your professional life, strategy is not just about climbing the corporate ladder, it's about defining what the ladder is and whether it's worth climbing at all. Is there a new industry to explore, a new venture to start, or a new network to build? Each decision should be made with the end game in mind. On a personal level, strategy involves understanding social dynamics, who holds power, who are the influencers, and how you can navigate these waters to build a reputation that commands respect. Every move, every word, every relationship should be a calculated step towards enhancing your influence and expanding your domain. Pillar 2, Building a Strategic Mindset. 2.1 Self-awareness, the starting point of strategy. Before you can dominate others, you must first master yourself. Cyrus the Great was a master strategist not just because he understood warfare, but because he understood himself. He knew his strengths, his wisdom, his ability to unite diverse peoples, and his skill in diplomacy, and he played to them relentlessly. The gentleman, self-awareness is your first step. Conduct a personal audit. What are your strengths? Where are your vulnerabilities? Which skills can you hone to make you indispensable? This isn't just about listing traits on a piece of paper, it's about a deep, introspective look into who you are and who you want to become. 2.2 Understanding others, the art of influence. Next, you must understand those around you. Strategy isn't just about moving pieces on a board, it's about knowing your opponents and allies as well as you know yourself. How can you leverage relationships to your advantage? How can you anticipate the moves of others and stay 2 steps ahead? Consider the example of John D. Rockefeller. He wasn't the most loved man in his time, but he understood people, how they thought, what motivated them, and, crucially, how to outmaneuver them. He used this understanding to build an empire. He knew when to collaborate, when to compete, and when to quietly dismantle his rivals without them realizing until it was too late. Pillar 3, the tools of strategy. 3.1 Setting clear, dominant goals. A gentleman without a goal is like a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of the winds. Your strategy must begin with a clear, unambiguous goal. What do you want to achieve? Is it a position of power in your industry? Is it the creation of a network of influential contacts that spans the globe? Whatever your goal, make it bold and make it clear. Let's look at Napoleon once more. His goal was never just to win a battle, it was to create an empire. Everything he did was in service of that vision. In your own life, think big, aim high, and ensure every action you take is aligned with your ultimate objective. 3.2 Mastering the competitive landscape. In any field, knowing your environment is key. In warfare, generals study terrain; in business, leaders study markets; in social dynamics, gentlemen study the networks of power. Understanding your competitive landscape allows you to anticipate moves and react with agility. Historical figures like Winston Churchill understood this well. During World War II, Churchill not only focused on the enemy's movements but also on the morale and perception of his own people. He mastered the landscape of public opinion, rallying a nation with words as much as with strategic military planning.
Pillar 4. Strategic Frameworks and Tactics. 4.1 The Power of Positioning. Positioning is everything, the gentleman. In battle, Genghis Khan was famous for his ability to position his troops in such a way that he could strike decisively and unexpectedly. His use of speed, surprise, and adaptability allowed him to conquer vast territories with unmatched effectiveness. In your professional and social life, positioning might mean being in the right place at the right time, making the right introductions, or being seen with the right people. Think of how powerful your presence becomes when you are strategically positioned. Whether it's a networking event or a boardroom meeting, your physical and metaphorical position can determine how others perceive you and how much influence you wield. 4.2 The OODA Loop. Observe, Orient, Decide, Act. The OODA Loop, Observe, Orient, Decide, Act, is a framework developed by military strategist John Boyd. It teaches us to stay agile, to continuously observe our surroundings, orient ourselves to the changing dynamics, decide swiftly, and act decisively. This loop is a cycle that must be repeated continuously to maintain the strategic advantage. In the business world, this might translate to continuously monitoring market trends, orienting your business strategy to capitalize on these trends, making decisions quickly to stay ahead of competitors, and acting decisively to capture market share. In social dynamics, it might mean being attuned to the shifting allegiances within your network, adjusting your approach accordingly, and acting in a way that reinforces your influence. Pillar 5. Historical Lessons in Strategy. 5.1 The Rise and Fall of Napoleon, a case study. Napoleon's rise was meteoric, but his fall was equally swift. What can we learn from his life? The key lesson is that while strategy can take you to the top, it can also lead to your downfall if you are not vigilant. Napoleon overreached. His invasion of Russia is a classic example of strategic overextension. For a gentleman, the lesson is clear: always be mindful of your limitations and never let hubris cloud your judgment. 5.2 Machiavellian Insights, Playing the Long Game. Niccolò Machiavelli, often misunderstood, was a master strategist who believed in the long game. He taught that sometimes, strategic patience is more powerful than immediate action. Think of the corporate world, where a hostile takeover might seem tempting, but a more strategic alliance or merger could yield greater long-term benefits. The art of strategy is often the art of knowing when to hold back and when to strike. 5.3 Alexander the Great, The Art of Bold Decisions. Alexander the Great conquered much of the known world by the age of 30. His strategy was audacious, often moving quickly and decisively where others hesitated. His famous crossing of the Hellespont into Asia was a bold move that surprised his enemies and set the tone for his subsequent campaigns. In modern terms, bold decisions could mean venturing into new markets, launching a groundbreaking product, or making a dramatic career shift. The key is to act with confidence and to back your decisions with strategic planning.
Pillar 6. Strategy in Practice, The Gentleman's Path to Dominance. 6.1 Crafting Your Personal Strategy. Let's get practical, the gentleman. Crafting your personal strategy involves 5 steps. 1. Identify your objective. What do you want to achieve? Be specific. 2. Analyze your environment. Who are your allies? Who are your competitors? What are the trends affecting your domain? 3. Develop your plan, outline your moves. Think about both the short-term tactics and long-term strategy. 4. Execute with precision, take action. Remember, a plan without execution is merely a wish. 5. Adapt and adjust, monitor the outcomes of your actions. Be prepared to adjust your strategy based on the results. 6.2 Building a network of power. Powerful networks don't happen by accident. They are built deliberately and strategically. Identify the key players in your industry or social circles. Determine what value you can offer them. Relationships are a two-way street, and the most successful gentlemen are those who give before they take. Consider the approach taken by historical figures such as Benjamin Franklin, who built a network of allies through wit, charm, and genuine value. He understood that every person in his network had something to offer, and he positioned himself as a valuable connection in return. 6.3 The power of strategic retreat. Sometimes, the best strategy is to retreat. This isn't a sign of weakness but rather a sign of wisdom. When Napoleon retreated from Moscow, it wasn't just the cold that defeated him, but his refusal to recognize when to withdraw and regroup. In life and business, knowing when to step back, reassess, and plan anew is a critical strategic skill. Pillar 7, The ultimate power move, becoming a strategic gentleman. 7.1 Embodying the gentleman strategist. An astute and composed gentleman strategist is always calm, composed, and confident. He knows his value, understands his environment, and acts with deliberate intent. His every move is calculated, and his presence alone commands respect. This is not just about playing the game of strategy but about mastering it, so it becomes second nature. 7.2 Legacy and impact, the end game of strategy. Finally, the gentleman, remember that all strategy should have an end game, a legacy you wish to leave behind. Great strategists don't just win battles, they build empires, influence generations, and leave a mark on history. Your strategy should be no different. Aim not just for success but for significance. Aim to leave a legacy that reflects the character and values of a true gentleman.
Conclusion: the path forward. As we conclude today's roadmap to strategic mastery, remember this: the path of the gentleman is not the path of least resistance, but the path of calculated effort, deliberate planning, and relentless execution. Strategy is the tool, the guide, and the means by which you will rise above the rest. Whether in business, social circles, or personal growth, the art of strategy will serve you well. Stay sharp, remain focused, and always be the distinguished gentleman you are.
The Gentleman's Lounge. For every gentleman in making or made. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.